I see you on the edge of the room, glow of a screen on your face, scrolling through celebrations that never included your name. Their group photos, their tagged memories, their "we did it" posts, thread right past your quiet. You laughed when the cake came out for them. No one noticed when your birthday passed in a whisper. You sent the check-ins. Your phone learned to live on delivered with no reply. And the world says they forgot you. But heaven might just be whispering, I marked you. Listen to me. I am not here to romanticize the ache in your chest. Pain is not pretty, it is personal. Those nights you curled on the side of the bed and tried not to sob too loud because you didn't want to explain it in the morning. He heard that. Those moments in the parking lot before you went back into a room that didn't see you. He counted those steps. They stopped calling, but heaven kept counting. Every tear, every breath you took instead of breaking. Every time you chose integrity when invisibility felt like license to quit. You thought the silence proved you were abandoned, but God sees differently. Your silence was not a sentence, it was a sign. And this is the sign. You're not forgotten, you're fortified. Say it to the place that still flinches. You're not forgotten, you're fortified. The world calls it isolation. Heaven calls it insulation from manipulation. The world measures you by mentions. Heaven measures you by mantle. And maybe that's you right now, misread, misnamed, and wondering why the noise left your life. Let me tell you something he told me. Absence does not equal apathy. Sometimes absence equals assignment. So here's the question you have to dare to ask. What if this isn't neglect? What if this is concealment with a purpose? What if the quiet isn't empty, it's guarded? What if the God who numbers hairs and names stars also coordinates silence like a shield around a seed? Seeds do not sprout on stages. They break underground, hidden, pressured, protected, until the time is right. You want to know one reason you're not in the picture? Because you're not a prop. You're a plan. And plans are kept confidential until they can't be counterfeited. And the world says, poor thing alone. But heaven stands and says, there goes my warrior under construction. While they forgot your name in their group chat, the throne room has spoken your destiny with clarity. While you wait for a notification, heaven has been writing a mandate. You're not being sidelined, you're being safeguarded. The absence of applause isn't proof you've lost value. It's evidence you're carrying something too holy to be handled carelessly. Hold your head up, breathe. This isn't punishment, it's a promotion in disguise. You are being kept, marked, guarded, seen, so that when you step out, you stand. And when you stand, you don't fall for flattery or faint under pressure. You are not forgotten, you are fortified. And now let me speak to the label that tried to live on your forehead. They called you unwanted, difficult, too much, hard to be around. And the world says she must be lonely because she's unlovable. But heaven might just be whispering, no, she became unplayable. Unwanted is what people call what they can't control. Listen to me. If your boundaries offended them, it wasn't because you were cruel. It was because your clarity exposed their convenience. When you stopped apologizing for your anointing, the ones who only loved access started calling you names so they could feel better about losing control. This is the part they won't admit. You didn't change your love, you changed your lens. You started seeing through sugar-coated lies and half-true compliments. You stopped mistaking chemistry for character. You stopped signing spiritual leases with people who never planned to pay rent in loyalty. And when you stopped being easily persuaded, the persuaders packed their bags. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection. It's not isolation, it's insulation from manipulation. Some people didn't leave because you lacked value. They left because you gained discernment. You want to know one reason you're standing more alone? Because once you stop being gullible, manipulators stop being friendly. Once you start testing spirits, charm loses its power. Once you trade people-pleasing for purpose-keeping, the crowd that fed off your yes can't digest your no. Darkness doesn't fear loud, it fears light that sees. Flattery doesn't work on a fortified soul. Guilt trips don't land in a life led by God. They preferred you when your discernment was dormant. They adored you when you performed. You stopped performing. They stopped pretending. So hear me. You are not bitter. You're better. You're not broken. You're built. You're not cursed. You're called. Not sidelined, set apart. Not exposed, covered. Not common, consecrated. Put language to the transformation. You see clearer. You trust slower. You forgive deeper. You reconcile wisely. You don't confuse access with covenant anymore. You don't confuse noise with nearness anymore. Heaven has been detoxing your environment so your discernment could breathe. That is not a downgrade. That is divine defense. And if the label is wrong, then the season has been misread. Stop letting cheap conclusions narrate a costly calling. Let them talk. You keep listening. Don't rename what God is refining. The hand on your life is holy, and holiness always makes the casual uncomfortable. That's why they left. That's why the room shrank. Not because you are unlovable, but because your love stopped subsidizing what was sabotaging your soul. So lean in. If mislabeling has been exposed, then motive has been revealed. And when motive is revealed, meaning is near. Next, we're going to uncover what God is actually doing, why He doesn't rush to explain, why He hides what He intends to raise, and why your hidden season is heaven's way of lifting you without losing you. Keep standing. You are not unwanted. You are untouchable by the wrong hands. Listen to me. You've been asking for answers while He's been handing you shape. You wanted an explanation that could change optics overnight. He wants a formation that changes outcomes forever. And the world says, if God cared, He'd clarify. But heaven might just be whispering, if I explain it too soon, you'll perform it too fast. God often withholds explanation because He's protecting what explanation can't accelerate: formation. Explanations satisfy curiosity. Formation builds capacity. You don't need a headline. You need a backbone. You don't need a spotlight. You need spine and root. Here is the pattern. God conceals before He reveals. Ask Joseph in the pit and the prison. Ask Mary holding a promise in a hidden womb. Ask David anointed in the shadows long before a throne ever knew his name. Holy things don't start on stages. They start in secret. Seed, womb, cave, backside of a desert. Why? Because what's precious must be protected from premature exposure. Premature exposure deforms destinies. Exposure without endurance turns gifts into gimmicks. So He covers you. He keeps you. He quiets the room so your soul can hear its instructions. Heaven's strategy is different. People chase visibility. God builds stability. We want platforms. He builds pillars. We want applause. He gives anchor. We keep refreshing metrics. He keeps reinforcing motives. The algorithm says, be seen. The altar says, be sealed. Visibility can be rented. Stability must be forged. And forging requires heat, pressure, waiting. Not because you're punished, but because you're precious. Not because you're small, but because you're significant. The crown you carry cannot sit on an untrained neck. So hear this. Privacy is not punishment. It's proximity. When people become fewer, my voice becomes clearer. When the crowd thins, compromise does too. In the secret place, the only agenda is alignment. I am not manipulating you for my ego. I am molding you for your future. While others shout suggestions, I write strategies. While they offer opinions, I issue orders. While they demand performance, I develop power. That whisper in the dark is not neglect, it's navigation. You want to know why I didn't explain every betrayal, every closed door, every slow room? Because clarity without character becomes a shortcut, and shortcuts strip you of strength. I hide what I intend to raise. I slow what I intend to send far. I steady what I intend to sustain. If I rushed to reveal you, your gift would attract what your roots couldn't carry. Oil draws opportunity and warfare. Applause draws admirers and assassins. Visibility draws vultures, so I am arming you in private for what favor will attract in public. Don't panic in the low profile. Don't mistake quiet for quit. Hold your position. Guard your oil. Keep your ear near my chest. This is not shrinkage. This is strengthening. I am not delaying you. I am delivering you from dilution. And when the concealment lifts, you won't just be noticed, you'll be necessary. Now, if you're asking what happens next when the room empties and the echo fades, lean in. When the crowd leaves, the training begins. When the crowd leaves, the training begins. Listen to me. This is not a soft season. It's a soldiering season. Solitude becomes boot camp. The secret place becomes a field manual. This is where I train your hands for war and your heart for weight. Not for a fight with people, but for a stand against pressure, pride, flattery, and fear. The absence of people is often the presence of training. You are not being sat down, you are being set up. Sometimes being alone isn't a punishment, it's a promotion. Boot camp is repetitive on purpose. Drills in the dark build instinct in the daylight. I'm sharpening your discernment until lies taste metallic and manipulation has no flavor you'll swallow. I'm disciplining your emotions so storms stop steering you. Feelings can ride, but they can't drive. I'm steadying your breath so panic won't manage your pace. I'm teaching your ears to love orders more than ovations. While they chase claps, you learn commands. While they perform, you're being preserved. While they seek attention, you're gaining aim. Here's the architecture of fortification. Boundaries become your walls, permeable to honor, impenetrable to flattery. Endurance lays the foundation, slow, strong, settled. Your prayer becomes muscle, not melody, rep after rep, pushing through resistance until presence feels heavier than pressure. Emotional regulation becomes your gate, open for truth, closed to tantrums. Obedience becomes your operating system, executed without applause, repeated without reminders, maintained without monitoring. You learn to move on a whisper, to pause on a check in your spirit, to wait until wisdom nods. And the world says, you're wasting your prime, no one is seeing you. But heaven might just be whispering, no one is scoring you, and that's the gift. You're building form without the pressure to perform. There's a difference between hype and heat. Hype inflates. Heat forges. I am forging. Repetition is not regression, it's reinforcement. Quiet is not empty, it's loaded with instruction. You're not benched, you're briefed. I'm also training your refusal muscles. Your no will save your yes. You'll discern the counterfeit offer wrapped like opportunity. You'll recognize rooms that look like open doors but smell like old traps. You'll hold your oil where gossip, jealousy, and fake love would have drained it. You'll stop confusing attention with assignment. Hell doesn't fear the loud, it fears the lead. This is leadership by lordship. I say, you move. I say, you hold. I say, you strike with peace, not panic. Understand the cadence. I'll stretch your endurance in silence and then measure your obedience in small instructions. Text the apology no one asked for. Delete the number that keeps dimming your discernment. Wake before dawn to meet me, not people. Honor when overlooked. Correct privately. Celebrate quietly. These are not minor drills. They're major proofs. Every secret yes becomes armor. Every silent surrender becomes steel. You're becoming spiritually bulletproof, so praise can't puff you and pain can't puncture you. But hear me with both ears. Fortification rarely enters through a pretty door. It often arrives wearing the face of pruning, the sting of betrayal, the ache of exits you didn't choose. Smiles turned into slander, support turned into sabotage. You didn't ask for that. Yet even in those fractures, I was fitting you for strength. And that's where we're going next, because what left you wasn't always loss. Sometimes it was me removing contamination so your training could take. So let me name it, because pretending doesn't heal it. Smiles turned into slander, words that once defended you now circling like knives behind your back. Support turned into suspicion. The ones who used to say, "I got you," started asking, "What's in it for her?" Closeness turned into competition. Private celebrations became silent scoreboards, and your wins started sounding like threats to the people who once prayed with you. You shared secrets in trust and watched them become strategies in someone else's hand. You poured out and later discovered they only liked you when you leaked. I saw it. I did not ignore it. I counted every gasp you swallowed when you realized loyalty had an expiration date, and the world says, "See, people are trash. Close your heart." But heaven might just be whispering, not trash, trimming, not a curse, clarity. Listen to me, that fracture didn't just break you, it burned off what was fake. Betrayal is a brutal teacher, but it is also a holy filter. I prune not because I hate branches, but because I love fruit. I cut where pretense has grown thick, where flattery has wrapped around your focus like vines choking a future. Pruning is not punishment, it's precision. It hurts like loss, but it protects like law. You want to know why I let them leave? Because I will not let saboteurs become shareholders in your destiny. I will allow people to walk away so they don't walk with you into your calling and ruin it from the inside. You prayed for elevation. You didn't know elevation requires evaluation. Nostalgia wanted to take everyone with you. Holiness said some cannot go. I am not negotiating your anointing for the comfort of familiar faces. The oil doesn't belong in environments poisoned by gossip, jealousy, and fake love. Oil flows where honor holds it. It spoils where envy stores it. So yes, I let the group text go cold. I allowed the tables to turn and the masks to slip. Not to embarrass you, but to extract you. I'd rather you cry now than crumble later under the weight of wrong alliances. I'd rather expose counterfeit counsel than let it become a compass in a season where one wrong turn costs years. I am not being cruel. I am being careful with you. The anointing on your life is not communal property. It is consecrated. And consecrated things must be kept from contamination. Here's the medicine. Bless them and release them. Your forgiveness is not an invitation back. It's an eviction notice to bitterness. Stop rehearsing the conversations that didn't defend you. Stop stalking rooms that can't honor you. Let me handle the reckoning. You handle the releasing. What left your life wasn't always loss. Sometimes it was me removing contamination. And once the wrong voices are cleared out, watch what happens to your hearing. Because pruning isn't just subtraction, it's acoustics. When noise is cut, nuance is discovered. After I trim the counterfeits, I tune you to the authentic. Next comes alignment by voice recognition. Not the loudest voice, not the most familiar voice, the right voice, mine. The quiet you feared is about to become the clearest classroom you've ever entered. When people get quiet, I get clear. Now that the sabotage is silenced, lean in. The secret place is ready, and I'm about to meet you there with a word that doesn't manipulate, only molds. Lean in. The room got quiet, but you are not alone in it. Silence is not evidence of abandonment when I authored it. It is evidence of appointment. I did not empty the noise to punish you. I cleared the space to meet you. The quiet isn't empty. It's a meeting place with a voice that doesn't manipulate. My voice doesn't flatter you into performance. It fathers you into purpose. I don't twist your need for belonging to buy your obedience. I anchor you with truth and then breathe on your courage. When people get quiet, I get clear. Listen to me. I do not grade you by public proofs. I do not count followers. I count footsteps. How closely you walk with me when no one is clapping, and the world says, make it visible, make it viral, make it valuable. But heaven might just be whispering, make it vertical. People reward performance. God rewards surrender. Platforms are rented. Presence is received. Trends are timed. Truth is timeless. I am after your ear more than your image, your altar more than your algorithm. So here is the posture of the secret place, simple and sharp so you can wear it like armor. Pray when unseen. Obey when unrecognized. Rest without guilt. Listen before reacting. Pray when the room is still and your feelings are loud. Obey when no one will post it or praise it. Rest because rest is not laziness. It's loyalty to the way I designed you. Sabbath is strategy. Listen before you respond, before you defend yourself, before you draft the clapback that gives darkness a show. Knees before keys. Whispered worship before world-facing words. Orders before options. This is how I teach you to measure privately what the world misses publicly. Minutes in my presence over moments in their feeds. Integrity when provoked over image when applauded. Soft answers over sharp retorts. Slow trust over fast talk. You think I have slowed your social life. I have tuned your spiritual life. In this quiet, I separate my voice from every echo. My voice doesn't negotiate your identity, it names you. My voice doesn't bargain with your boundaries, it builds them. My voice doesn't rush you for their timeline, it roots you for mine. Feel the exchange happening here. Where anxiety used to manage your mornings, alignment begins to set your pace. Where people's tones used to sway your worth, my word settles your weather. The secret place is where storms report to peace for debriefing. It's where I correct without shaming you, where I stretch you without snapping you, where I cleanse motives without canceling your mission. You leave this place less reactive, more responsive. You stop moving to prove. You start moving to please. And here is the turn you've been sensing. Intimacy births discernment. Proximity sharpens perception. In closeness, you begin to hear the counterfeit. In opportunities that look golden. In stillness, you start to see the strings behind the smiles. That's why some can't stay. Truth-tuned ears make you unplayable. Hell doesn't fear a loud soul. It fears a listening one. The quieter you become with me, the clearer you become to the enemy. Off limits, guarded, guided. When people get quiet, I get clear. And when I get clear, you get dangerous to darkness and intolerable to games. Keep coming here. Keep choosing me over the noise. This is where you become the person crowds can't corrupt and applause can't steer. Listen to me. When your ear gets tuned, your circle gets trimmed. Clarity has a social cost. You stop entertaining half-truths that make you second-guess your gut. You stop letting flattery sign leases in rooms it has no business renting. You stop giving confusion a microphone and calling it compassion. Your yes grows a spine. Your no grows a shield. And the world says, you've changed, too closed, too cautious. But heaven might just be whispering, no, she's calibrated. They call it being too guarded. Heaven calls it being well-governed. Let me expose the plays that used to work on you. Guilt trips, the art of making you responsible for the peace they refuse to cultivate. Discernment answers, I'm not your savior, I'm a steward, and sets a boundary that emotions cannot bulldoze. Love bombing, inflated affection to buy expedited access. Discernment slows the speed, measures the fruit, and refuses wholesale trust at retail conversation. Breadcrumbing, sporadic crumbs of attention to keep you hungry and handy. Discernment stops chasing crumbs when it's seated at a table called covenant. And spiritualized control, God told me you owe me. The Lord said you can't leave. Religion used like a leash. Discernment tests spirits, not just vibes, and refuses any word that violates wisdom, order, or your assignment. Do you hear it? The games break when truth enters the room. This is why some can't stay. You've become unplayable. Manipulation needs a door. Discernment locks it. Flattery needs a thirst. Discernment is watered by presence. Confusion needs frenzy. Discernment moves at instruction. You are learning to be spiritually bulletproof, not hard-hearted but hard to hijack. Hell reads your file and sees a warning label, cannot be seduced off assignment. Applause won't steer her. Accusations won't stall her. Attention won't auction her. She is governed by orders, not optics. She carries a peace that refuses ransom and a focus that refuses flirtation. Understand this upgrade. Discernment doesn't just protect your heart, it protects your calling from counterfeit connections. The wrong embrace at the right time can reroute a decade. The wrong mentor with the right language can mortgage your mantle. So I am teaching you to see beyond smiles to substance, beyond chemistry to character, beyond momentum to motives. You will bless many, but few will hold rank near your ear. That is not arrogance, that is assignment management. You are not suspicious, you are strategic. It's not isolation, it's insulation from manipulation. And yes, this clarity births a new kind of loneliness. The chatter thins, the invitations shift, the room feels spacious and, on some days, spare. And the world says, poor thing, too picky. But heaven might just be whispering, rare things are never overhandled. Misunderstood here doesn't mean you're wrong. It often means you're rare. You are not hard to love. You are hard to handle for anything counterfeit. Rarity requires remnant. Purpose requires pace partners, not popularity partners. So walk steady. If some cannot stay, it's because sight has separated you from games that once disguised themselves as love. Keep your ear holy and your boundaries honest. This is the narrow path that protects the wide impact you're about to carry. Listen to me. Being misunderstood has been trying to sit in the judge's chair over your soul, but it doesn't get the gavel. Misread is not mismade. Their confusion is not your correction. Sometimes being overlooked is not a commentary on you, it's a commentary on their capacity. And the world says, why doesn't anyone pick you? Heaven says, because I did. The world scans for consensus. I search for consecration. They need you tidy and tame to be comfortable. I need you holy and honest to be useful. You remember the before. You used to beg for belonging, shrinking yourself to squeeze into rooms that only loved your silence. You laughed softer, dreamed smaller, edited the shine so no one called you too much. You auditioned for tables you were already too called to sit at because the chair would have controlled your voice. Then the after started. You learned to belong to me first. You stopped renting your worth to whoever smiled the widest. You traded being invited by many for being inhabited by me. Here is the reframe that breaks shame's spell. You're not hard to love. You're hard to handle for anything counterfeit. You are not a puzzle missing pieces. You are a portrait that can't be cropped without losing truth. Counterfeit connections need you dim to dominate you. Real covenant celebrates your clarity because it protects the calling. So when rooms misread your resolve as rudeness, breathe. Some can't recognize rare because they're calibrated for common. Some don't know what to do with a life that won't trade presence for popularity. Their labels are too small for your mantle. Let me tell you something. He told me. Misunderstood is often the evidence that you're carrying a frequency their ears weren't trained to hear. Rare doesn't fit racks. It's tailor-made. Rare doesn't go on clearance, it's carefully kept. And while the world says, prove you're worth picking, heaven might just be whispering, stop performing, you're already chosen. You are not overlooked, you are not unloved, you are not behind. You are hidden, held, and being honed, not ignored, insulated, not passed over, preserved, not late, loaded. Feel the lift of that reversal. When identity locks in, your pace stops panicking. You stop sprinting for spectators and start walking with the one who orders your steps. You stop leaking loyalty to buy likes. You stop checking metrics to measure meaning. Security in me becomes stamina in you. Once you know who stamped you, you stop needing hands to clap to keep moving. Applause becomes a compliment, not a compass. Criticism becomes coaching fodder, not a cage. This is why I have been relentless about your name and your narrative. I don't just rescue you from abandonment. I reassign what abandonment tried to teach you. You no longer chase seats you were never sent to. You bless rooms you leave and refuse to curse yourself for not fitting. Your clarity is kindness to your future. Your consecration is comfort to your calling, and the enemy hates it, because a secure soul is unsteerable by shame. So hold this line like a shield when the old ache knocks. I am not unwanted, I am untouchable by the wrong hands. Say it until your bones believe it. Not overlooked, not unloved, not behind, hidden, held, and being owned. You don't need their recognition to move because you already have heaven's mark and my mandate. And once identity is secured, endurance becomes possible. We're going there next. How to keep standing when nobody claps. How to keep obeying when the room is quiet. Because now that you know you're rare, you can run without begging the crowd to confirm your worth. Listen to me. This is the exam the crowd can't grade you on. The real test isn't whether you can be seen, it's whether you can stay faithful when you are not. Can you keep praying when no one is posting you? Can you keep showing up to the secret place when invitations stop showing up to your phone? Can you guard your oil when hands are not reaching for it? And the world says, if it's quiet, it's not working. But heaven might just be whispering, if it's quiet, I'm measuring your loyalty. Here is the temptation, and I'm naming it so it can't negotiate with you in the dark. To trade calling for comfort, oil for attention, purity for proximity, to swap obedience for optics, to accept any chair at any table because it looks busy, even if it costs your birthright. Don't do it. Don't rush out of this season. Don't chase the table that didn't honor you. Don't shrink to fit rooms I outgrew you from. Don't sell Sabbath to buy their schedule. Don't mortgage your mantle to purchase a moment. If a door demands you dilute what I developed in private, that's not destiny, that's a detour. Endurance looks like obedience in repeat. Consistency in prayer when your feelings are inconsistent. Consistency in character when slander tries to pull you into a show. Consistency in boundaries when loneliness begs for a cheaper comfort. Pray steady, walk steady, guard steady. Set your time like a watchman. Altar before agenda, word before work, worship before worry. You will not always feel like it. That is the point. Endurance is not an emotion, it's a decision. Faithful when favored, faithful when forgotten, faithful when misunderstood. Orders over outcomes. Let me give you a cadence you can carry into the week. While they move with trends, you move with truth. While they seek a moment, you're birthing a movement. While they measure influence by eyes, you measure authority by obedience. While they pace for virality, you pace for viability. Can it live long? Can it hold weight? Can it host my presence? While they negotiate every boundary to keep company, you honor boundaries to keep consecration. While they chase platforms, you build pillars, prayer, purity, purpose. And yes, you'll feel the ache to speed up. But hear me, don't rush out of what's rooting you. Roots are slow by design. Endurance isn't passivity, it's precision. You aren't killing time, you are killing the need to be validated by time. Keep your promises to me when it's raining. Keep your tongue from revenge when it's tempting. Keep your hands clean when shortcuts wink at you. Keep sowing excellence where eyes are absent, because I am present. You want to be trusted with weight? Then prove you can carry silence. Show me you won't let praise intoxicate you or pain intoxicate you. Show me you can be sent to a quiet corner and still build like you're in a coliseum. Endurance isn't just survival, it's certification. It's proof you're being prepared for visibility that won't destroy you. When the veil lifts, and it will, you won't come out needy, you'll come out necessary. Hold this line. The hidden doesn't mean stalled. It means secured until the right time, and that time is not as far as it feels. Listen to me. Here is the reveal you've been aching for. I did not hide you to hold you back. I hid you to hold you together. Timing has been your shield, not your sentence. And the world says, you're late. You missed your moment. But heaven might just be whispering, your moment is being fitted to you so it doesn't fall off when you start moving. I refuse to expose what I have not yet fortified. I am not waiting to be difficult. I am waiting to be diligent with your destiny. Delay is not denial. Delay is a door with a lock on it until your integrity arrives with the key. You want to know one reason sudden visibility breaks people? Because applause makes an unhealed wound feel numbed, not mended. Unhealed wounds plus applause equals addiction. Now you need noise to believe you're real. And untrained discernment plus attention equals compromise. Now you need approval to justify disobedience. Lights don't fix fractures, they only make them glisten. Platforms magnify patterns. If the pattern is peace, peace multiplies. If the pattern is people-pleasing, that pressure will sell you your name for a price that looks like praise. I love you too much to let applause become anesthesia and attention become your authority. So I hid you to form what fame can't fake. I'm building someone who can be blessed without being bought, loved without being led astray, elevated without being emptied. Someone who can carry favor without leaking character, hold influence without haunting insecurity, host power without hoarding glory. You weren't hidden to be ignored. You were hidden to be intact. Hiddenness has been your healer and your harness. It taught you to eat from presence instead of pockets, to read motives instead of headlines, to be led by a whisper instead of a wave. Understand the mechanics of my timing. I release you when the assignment won't break you and the room can bear you. I don't send ovens half preheated or arrows half drawn. I don't launch seeds. I plant them until they become trees that outlast storms. There is a right time that looks wrong to impatient eyes but perfect to a holy calendar. Ask Joseph, ask David, ask Esther. I am consistent. I hide what I intend to raise so it emerges whole, not hungry, anchored, not addicted. So now that you see it, choose. Don't crawl out of covering to chase a clock I don't edit. Don't apologize for being preserved. Walk like someone heaven marked. Shoulders back, not from arrogance, from assignment. Pace set by orders, not optics. Speak when I send you. Stay silent when I signal. Receive honor without renting out your identity. Give glory like a reflex. Move through open doors that don't demand your soul at the threshold. Refuse shortcuts that dress like strategy but smell like surrender. This is the moment where your understanding becomes marching orders, not delayed, delivered whole. Not stalled, secured until the right time. And that time, it's meeting your readiness. Now walk accordingly. Listen to me. Walk like the marked. You are covered, chosen, and consecrated, not pitied, posted at a gate of destiny with orders that outrank opinions, not fragile. Fortified for weight. And the world says, forgotten, sidelined, too late. But heaven might just be whispering, fortified, stationed, right on time. You wear a seal they cannot see and carry a mandate they cannot measure. You don't need their recognition to move. You already have heaven's mark and my mandate. So hear my decree over your life. What left was not meant to carry you. It would have corrupted you. Who remained is aligned to refine you, not define you. Your name is not abandoned, it is appointed. Your season is not stalled, it is secured. Your path is not crowded, it is curated. You are not a maybe, you are a mandate. You are hidden, held, and being honed, and I am not finished, I'm forwarding you. Now take these permissions and wear them like armor. Stop apologizing for peace. Peace is not rudeness, it's royalty refusing ransom. Stop explaining your boundaries to those who benefit from breaking them. A fence that must be justified is a fence they plan to jump. Stop begging to be understood by rooms committed to misreading you. Comprehension is not a prerequisite for obedience. You don't owe access to those who mock alignment. You don't owe explanations to those who weaponize intimacy. You don't owe your pace to anyone's panic. Let me settle the warfare account. Darkness counted on your exhaustion. I converted your ache into endurance. Hell feared your isolation. I turned it into formation. Where accusations tried to puncture you, obedience sealed you. Where flattery tried to seduce you, discernment sobered you. You are spiritually bulletproof, not hard, holy, not unreachable, unsteerable by manipulation. You didn't just survive, you were standardized for service. You didn't just make it out. You were made into a warning to hell. So here is your commission. Shoulders back, not as a performance, as proof of placement. Pace by orders, not optics. Guard your oil. Generosity is not leakage. Carry quiet authority. You don't owe a show to steward a shift. Bless without bondage. Build without broadcasting. Move with mercy, but marry only to mission. Keep the altar hot, the conscience clean, the calendar consecrated. If the door requires dilution, decline it. If the platform demands pretense, pass it. If the crowd confuses covenant with codependency, exit kindly. You are not here to be famous. You are here to be faithful. And when their voices say, forgotten, hear mine louder, fortified. When they say, too much, hear me, exactly measured. When they say, prove it, hear me, already approved. You are not walking alone. You are walking with the one who called you. I am the companion you cannot lose, the provision you cannot exhaust, the presence that makes deserts bloom and valleys build altars. I am more than enough. Now go, marked, mandated, and moving, because heaven has counted, covered, and commissioned you.